All right, so are you ready? Get ready for a deep dive today. It's into Jodhpur, India, and this one is really designed just for you.
Okay.
So, we know you're planning an India trip,
That's right.
and you want to know if Jodhpur is worth a visit? Well, you are in luck
I hope so.
because we've got this amazing travel guide that's packed with all the sorts of things, historical insights, must-see spots, and even foodie recommendations.
You know what caught my eye right away?
What's that?
It's Jodhpur's nickname,
Okay, what is it?
the Blue City.
The Blue City. Okay. Yeah, you've got my attention now.
Many of the houses are painted blue.
Really?
And when you see it from above, it's just incredible. It's this expansive color. It's like a sea of azure just washing over the city.
Now that's something I would love to see.
Oh, it's stunning.
But before we get lost in all that blue, let's back up a bit. What's the story behind Jodhpur?
Well, Jodhpur has a rich history.
Right.
It's the former capital of the Marwar Kingdom, which was founded way back in 1459 by Rao Jodha. And this was a really powerful Rajput clan.
Okay.
And their influence is still very visible in the city's architecture and the culture, even today.
That explains why the guide keeps mentioning the royal past.
Yeah.
All those centuries of history that has shaped the city.
Right.
And speaking of history, we have to talk about Mehrangarh Fort.
Yeah.
This looks amazing.
You can't miss this one. It's perched on this cliff 400 feet above the city.
Wow.
And it's massive, this huge complex of palaces, courtyards, temples.
The guide says the views from up there are breathtaking.
Oh, they are. Imagine just standing on top of those ramparts, feeling the wind in your hair. It's almost as if the wind is whispering tales of the Maharajas and the battles fought centuries ago.
Oh, wow.
That's the kind of experience this place offers.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then inside, there's also a museum
Yes.
with all sorts of royal artifacts and weapons.
Absolutely.
It's like stepping right back into Jodhpur's powerful past.
You got it.
Okay. Now, here's something I found very interesting.
Okay.
Umaid Bhawan Palace.
Huh?
Okay, so it's part heritage hotel, part residence of the royal family.
Yes. That's true. And the palace itself is incredible. It's a masterpiece of Indo-Deco architecture,
Oh.
blending both Rajput and European styles.
So I could potentially bump into royalty at breakfast.
You could. You never know.
This is getting better and better. And there's also a museum there too, right?
There is, yeah.
That showcases the Maharaja's lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
which I imagine is a bit more luxurious than my morning toast.
Let's just say you might be trading in your toast for silver service and a view fit for a king.
I'm in. I'm there.
Okay.
Now on to something a bit more serene.
Okay.
Jaswant Thada.
Yeah.
The guide describes this white marble cenotaph as incredibly peaceful,
It is.
with intricate carvings in these beautiful gardens.
It's a really beautiful example of Rajput architectural finesse, and its location offers stunning views of Mehrangarh Fort, especially at sunset.
So it sounds like the perfect spot to escape the city bustle for a while.
Yeah.
Just soak in the atmosphere.
It is.
Now, speaking of history, the guide says we can't miss Mehrangarh Gardens,
All right.
the former capital of Marwar before Jodhpur took over.
It's a fascinating place with all sorts of ancient temples and cenotaphs dedicated to the rulers of Marwar. The Hall of Heroes, with its very intricately carved sandstone figures, is a real highlight.
Okay.
And there's even a temple dedicated to 33 crore gods.
33 crore. That's a lot of gods. I mean, I'm picturing something really spectacular.
It's quite a sight to behold. It really gives you a sense of the region's rich spiritual history.
Well, you mentioned that you spotted something interesting about Jodhpur's markets.
Yeah, if you really want to get a feel for the city's energy, you have to visit the Clock Tower and Sardar Market.
Yeah, the guide calls it a shopper's paradise.
Mm.
Just
Yeah.
overflowing with, textiles, spices, handicrafts. There are even Rajasthani antiques.
Oh, it's wonderful.
I can only imagine the stories those antiques could tell.
Right. It's the perfect place to really get lost in the sights and sounds and smells of Jodhpur.
Yep.
You can picture yourself bartering for a rug or sampling the exotic spices. It's just a sensory overload in the best way possible.
I love that. And after all that shopping, we're going to need to refuel.
Yes, we are.
And the guide lists some must-try dishes, and my stomach is already rumbling.
Well, Jodhpur is known for its delectable Rajasthani cuisine. Have you ever tried mirchi bada?
No, I haven't. What is that?
They're these spicy potato fritters that pack a punch.
Oh, I'm always up for something spicy.
You
What else should we try?
can't miss pyaz kachori. It's this crispy pastry that's filled with onions and spices.
Okay.
And, of course, the signature Rajasthani dish, dal bati churma.
What's that?
It's a lentil dish with these baked dough balls and served with a sweet churma.
So it sounds like a flavor explosion.
It
And
is
then to wash it all down.
a refreshing makanya lassi. It's a rich yogurt drink that's perfect for a hot day.
Okay, I'm sold. Jodhpur is shaping up to be an incredible experience. But what about the best time to go?
Well, the guide suggests October to March. That's when you'll have the most pleasant weather, with warm days and cool nights.
Okay, so I can leave the winter coat at home and embrace the sunshine. What about getting there?
Well, Jodhpur is well connected, so you have a few options. For convenience, you can fly directly into Jodhpur Airport.
That's always a plus, especially after a long journey.
Right, or if you want a more immersive experience, you could take a train to Jodhpur Junction. It's a chance to see the Indian countryside and experience train travel like a local.
You know, I've always wanted to experience a classic Indian train journey.
You should. It's fantastic. And once you're in Jodhpur, getting around is easy. You can hire a taxi, auto rickshaw, or even explore the city on foot.
Walking through those narrow blue streets, taking it all in, that sounds magical.
It is. And when it comes to accommodation, Jodhpur really caters to all budgets.
Yeah, the guide mentioned some pretty amazing options from the luxurious Umaid Bhawan Palace.
Of course, it's on everybody's list.
Definitely on my bucket list. To, mid-range hotels like Ratan Vilas, which is known for its kind of heritage experience. To boutique stays like RAS Jodhpur.
Yeah.
And then for budget travelers, places like the Blue House offer a charming and affordable stay.
Exactly. And for a truly immersive experience, you can always consider staying in a homestay with a local family. It's a great chance to really connect with the heart and soul of the city and experience Jodhpur through their eyes.
Now, that's a great idea. I love getting a local perspective when I travel.
Me too.
Adds so much depth to the experience. But wait, there's more. The guide also dives into Jodhpur's festival scene, which sounds incredibly vibrant.
Oh, it is.
Okay, so let's dive into the world of Jodhpur festivals.
All right.
So which festival should we mark on our calendars first?
Well, if you're interested in folk culture, the Marwar Festival is a must-see.
No.
It takes place every year in October,
Okay.
and it's this vibrant celebration of Rajasthan's music, dance, and storytelling traditions.
Wow.
Yeah.
The guide says it's a chance to witness everything from traditional Rajasthani folk dances to these captivating musical performances
Oh, yeah.
and even camel tattoo shows.
Right.
That sounds like quite a spectacle.
It's really a feast for the senses.
Yeah.
And a wonderful way to experience the region's rich cultural heritage.
Now, and then there's the Rajasthan International Folk Festival.
Yes.
Or RIFF, as the guide calls it.
RIF.
This one sounds incredible.
It's a very special event.
Yeah.
It brings together musicians and artists from not only Rajasthan, but all over the world.
Really?
Yeah, creating this amazing fusion of sounds and rhythms.
Wow.
You can imagine experiencing, the soulful strains of Rajasthani folk music alongside, say, the pulsating beats of African drumming.
It's incredible how music can transcend borders like that.
Absolutely.
The guide describes it as a celebration of the universal language of music,
Yeah.
where, cultural boundaries just blur and artistic collaborations ignite.
It's very special.
It sounds like a truly immersive experience.
It is, and what's really unique about RFF is its setting.
Oh, okay.
It takes place within the majestic Mehrangarh fort,
Oh, wow.
adding a whole other layer of magic to the performances.
Okay, now that's something I need to see.
Oh, it's incredible.
Music echoing through those ancient courtyards. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it.
I know, it's amazing.
What about this Nagaur fair?
Okay.
The guide mentions it's one of the largest cattle fairs in India,
Yes.
but you were saying it's more than just cows on parade.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The Nagaur Fair is really a glimpse into rural Rajasthan, a world away from the tourist trail. You can imagine just this sea of colorful turbans bobbing amidst, a cacophony of sounds, camels grunting, traders haggling, folk musicians adding to the lively atmosphere.
So it's a real sensory experience.
It is.
The guide says there are camel races, folk performances, and even a vibrant display of local crafts.
Yeah, it's all there.
So it's more of a cultural extravaganza wrapped up in a cattle fair?
Exactly. It's a chance to really witness a side of Rajasthan that a lot of visitors miss. You can see traditional crafts being made, sample authentic Rajasthani food, and maybe even snag a unique souvenir or two.
Now, that's what I call an authentic experience.
It is.
So we've got the majestic Mehrangarh fort, the serene Jaswant Thada, the vibrant Sardar market, and this whole host of colorful festivals.
Yeah.
Jodhpur seems like a place where history and culture collide in the most captivating way.
They do, and what's fascinating is how this city, steeped in centuries of tradition, is also adapting to modern times.
Yeah,
It's a delicate balance.
it is.
But Jodhpur seems to be navigating it beautifully.
Speaking of Jodhpur's unique character, we can't forget about those iconic blue houses.
Right.
I mean, why are so many buildings painted blue?
That's a good question.
The guide mentions a few theories,
Yeah.
but is there one that stands out?
Well, there are several theories, some more plausible than others.
Okay.
One suggests it's a practical matter. You know, the blue helps to keep the houses cool in the scorching desert heat.
Right, that makes sense.
It's like a built-in air conditioner.
Yeah.
Another theory links the blue to the Brahmin caste,
Okay.
who traditionally painted their houses blue.
Hmm.
So it could be a social marker, a way of identifying certain groups within the city.
That's interesting.
It is.
So it's not just aesthetics, it's a reflection of social structures.
Right.
Are there any other explanations?
There are.
Okay.
Some believe that the blue repels insects,
Oh, okay.
which in a region known for its warm climate is a definite plus.
That makes sense.
And then there's the romantic notion that the blue represents the sky,
Okay.
symbolizing Jodhpur's connection to the heavens.
Oh, I like that one.
It's a nice thought.
Yeah, it adds a touch of poetry to the city's landscape.
It does.
Regardless of the reason, I mean, those blue houses have become an iconic symbol of Jodhpur,
Absolutely.
drawing visitors from all corners of the globe.
They do.
It's like stepping into a fairy tale. I can practically feel myself getting lost in those blue alleys, discovering hidden courtyards and rooftop cafes with breathtaking views.
I know, it's really special.
You mentioned something about ethical travel and Jodhpur facing some challenges.
Right.
Yeah, the guide touched upon issues like poverty and the pressures of tourism.
Yeah, it's a good point.
It's a reminder that while we're excited to explore these amazing places, it's important to do so responsibly.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, engaging with the local community, supporting local businesses, being mindful of our environmental footprint.
Right.
These are all ways to ensure that our travels benefit both us and the places we visit.
It's about more than just checking destinations off a list.
Right.
You know, it's about connecting with people, understanding different cultures, and contributing positively to the places we experience.
That's a great way to put it.
Have you given any more thought to where you might stay in Jodhpur?
I have.
Yeah, I have. Well, Umaid Binan Palace is definitely high on my list.
Of course.
Imagine wandering through halls where Maharajas once held court,
It would be incredible.
now transformed into a luxurious hotel. That's the kind of historical immersion I crave.
I understand completely, but if you're looking for something maybe a bit more intimate, Ratan Vilas offers a very charming heritage experience.
Yeah, the guide describes it as a beautifully restored haveli,
Yes.
you know, a traditional Indian mansion with ornate courtyards and a peaceful ambiance.
That's lovely.
Sounds like a perfect blend of history and comfort.
It is. And if a boutique stay is more your style, RAAS Jodhpur is a stunning option.
Oh, yeah.
It's known for its contemporary design, impeccable service, and incredible views of Mehrangarh Fort.
The guide raves about its rooftop restaurant,
Oh, yes.
which apparently offers panoramic vistas of the city, especially at sunset.
Oh, it's beautiful up there.
And for budget travelers, there are plenty of great options, too.
Yes, there are.
The Blue House, for instance, is a charming guest house known for its friendly atmosphere and vibrant blue walls, of course. It sounds like there's something for everyone in Jodhpur, no matter your budget or travel style.
There really is.
So we've covered history, culture, food, festivals, responsible travel, and even accommodation.
We have.
What else is there to know about Jodhpur?
Well, we haven't talked about the Blue House's connection to Jodhpur's water system.
No. Right, the guy did mention something about that.
Yeah.
What's the story there?
Well, Jodhpur, as you know, is located in the Thar Desert,
Yeah,
and water has always been a precious resource.
I can imagine.
Traditionally, the city relied on this complex network of stepwells and underground tanks to collect and store rainwater.
It sounds like they had to be incredibly resourceful to survive in such an arid environment.
Oh, they did.
So how do these stepwells connect to the blue houses?
Well, some believe that the blue paint used on the houses had a special property.
Okay.
It helped to seal the walls and prevent water seepage, keeping those precious underground tanks clean and free from contamination.
So the blue wasn't just about aesthetics or social markers. It played a vital role in the city's water management system.
Precisely. It's a fascinating example of how, in a city like Jodhpur, Every aspect of life is interconnected,
Wow.
from architecture and social customs to resource management and survival.
So it's not just the Blue City, it's the ingenious Blue City.
Yeah, it's very clever.
Jodhpur keeps getting more and more intriguing.
It does.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more to discover in this captivating city.
I agree.
Okay, I'm officially hooked.
I'm glad.
Jodhpur is definitely going on my must-visit list.
Good.
But before we wrap up this deep dive, I have one final question.
Okay.
Why is Jodhpur called the Sun City?
Ah, that's an interesting one.
Yep.
Jodhpur is called the Sun City because of its bright, sunny weather almost throughout the year.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's located in the Thar Desert, after all, which is known for its clear skies and abundant sunshine.
Right.
But there's also a symbolic aspect to it. The sun, in many cultures, represents life, energy, and vitality.
Right.
And Jodhpur, with its vibrant culture, bustling markets, and enduring spirit, certainly embodies those qualities.
It's a city that seems to radiate warmth and energy, both literally and figuratively.
Absolutely.
Speaking of warmth and energy, what about those delectable foodie delights we were discussing earlier?
Oh, yes.
Ready to dive into the culinary heart of Jodhpur?
Let's do it.
My stomach is already rumbling in anticipation.
Okay, let's start with a classic Jodhpur street food experience.
Yes, right.
Imagine you're strolling through the bustling Sardar market, the aroma of spices filling the air, and you come across a vendor selling piping hot mirchi bada.
Mirchi bada, those spicy potato fritters you mentioned earlier.
The very same.
Oh, yeah.
They're a Jodhpur specialty, made with this fiery green chili stuffing that will definitely wake up your taste buds.
I'm all for culinary adventure, and spice is always welcome.
Good.
What else should we try?
You can't miss the pyaz kachori. It's a flaky, deep-fried pastry filled with spiced onions and potatoes. It's a very popular snack in Jodhpur, and the perfect way to satisfy those midday cravings.
The guide describes it as a symphony of textures and flavors,
It is.
with a crispy outer layer giving way to this soft, savory filling.
And for a truly authentic Rajasthani experience, we have to try dal bati churma.
The guide mentioned this one as a signature dish of Rajasthan. But what exactly is it?
It's a hearty and flavorful dish made with lentils, hard-baked dough balls called bati, and a sweet, crumbly dessert called churma.
It sounds like a complete meal in itself, a perfect blend of sweet and savory.
It is, and it's a dish that's deeply rooted in the culture and history of Rajasthan.
Okay, my culinary curiosity is officially piqued.
Good.
But we can't forget about the makhanya lassi,
Right.
that refreshing yogurt drink you mentioned earlier.
Ah, yes, the makhani lassi is a Jodhpur classic.
Okay.
It's a creamy and decadent drink made with yogurt, butter, and sugar. It's the perfect way to cool down on a hot day and a delicious ending to any Jodhpur feast.
So we've got spicy fritters, flavorful pastries, a hearty lentil dish, and a sweet, refreshing lassi.
Yes,
Jodhpur is shaping up to be a culinary paradise.
it is. And what's wonderful about Jodhpur's food scene is that it caters to all tastes and budgets.
Okay?
You can find everything from street food stalls offering delicious snacks to upscale restaurants serving gourmet Rajasthani cuisine.
It sounds like a city where you can truly indulge your taste buds
You can.
and experience the full spectrum of Rajasthani flavors.
Absolutely.
Speaking of experiences, have you considered how you might explore the city itself?
I have.
Jodhpur offers a variety of transportation options,
does.
each with its own unique charm.
Right.
The guide mentioned taxis and auto rickshaws as convenient ways to get around.
Yeah.
But I'm also intrigued by the idea of exploring Jodhpur on foot.
I think that's the best way to see it.
Yeah.
Walking through the city's narrow lanes is an experience in itself. You can really soak in the atmosphere, admire the blue houses up close, and stumble upon hidden gems you might miss otherwise.
Right. I can imagine getting lost in the maze of blue alleys, discovering hidden courtyards, vibrant shops,
Yeah.
and maybe even a rooftop cafe with stunning views.
Exactly. And if you want to cover more ground, you can always hire a bicycle or a scooter.
That sounds like fun.
It is.
Zipping through the streets, feeling the wind in my hair, experiencing the city like a local.
And if you want a truly unique experience, you could even take a camel ride through the city.
A camel ride.
Ah, camel ride.
That's something I haven't considered.
It's a quintessential Rajasthani experience.
Yeah.
And a great way to see the city from a different perspective. Imagine yourself perched atop a camel, swaying gently as you traverse the narrow lanes, the blue houses rising around you.
It sounds like a scene straight out of a movie.
It is, and it's a memory you'll cherish long after your trip.
Okay, I'm convinced Jodhpur is a city best explored on foot, by bicycle, and even by camel. It's a place that begs to be experienced slowly, savoring every sight, sound, and aroma.
Absolutely. It's a city that rewards those who take the time to wander,
Yeah.
to get lost in its labyrinthine streets, and to connect with its people and its culture.
So we've covered history, architecture, culture, festivals, food, responsible travel, and even transportation.
We have.
What else is there to know about Jodhpur?
Well, we haven't talked about Jodhpur's vibrant arts and crafts scene.
Oh, right. The guide mentioned something about Jodhpur being a hub for traditional Rajasthani crafts.
Exactly. Jodhpur is renowned for its exquisite handicrafts,
Yeah.
from textiles and jewelry to pottery and metalwork.
The guide specifically mentioned tie-dye fabrics, leatherwork, and hand-painted ceramics.
Yes, those are some of the most popular crafts in Jodhpur.
Okay.
Tie-dye, known as bandhani in Rajasthan, is a traditional technique that creates intricate patterns on fabric using resist dyeing.
The guide mentioned that each region in Rajasthan has its own unique tie-dye patterns.
That's
So you can tell where a fabric is from just by looking at the design.
That's right.
That's pretty neat.
And Jodhpur is particularly famous for its vibrant red and yellow bandhani fabrics.
What about the leatherwork? What kind of leather goods can we find in Jodhpur?
Well, Jodhpur has a long tradition of leatherwork,
Okay.
and you can find everything from shoes and bags to saddles and belts.
Wow.
The leather is often intricately tooled and embroidered, creating beautiful and durable pieces.
The guide mentioned mojari,
Yes.
those traditional Rajasthani shoes with curled-up toes.
Yes, Mojari are a must-have souvenir from Jodhpur.
Okay.
They come in a variety of colors and styles, and are surprisingly comfortable to wear.
And what about those hand-painted ceramics?
Jodhpur is known for its blue pottery,
Okay.
a unique craft that uses a special glaze to create this distinctive turquoise blue hue. Beautiful.
The guide mentioned that the blue pottery is believed to have originated in Persia
That's right.
and was brought to India by the Mughals. So we've got tie-dye fabrics, leather goods, and blue pottery.
Yes.
Jodhpur seems like a shopper's paradise, especially for those who appreciate handcrafted items.
It is, and what's great about shopping in Jodhpur is that you can find everything from small family-run shops to larger emporiums.
The guide recommends exploring the Clock Tower Market and the Sarafa Bazaar for the best selection of handicrafts.
Those are great places to start, and don't be afraid to haggle.
Oh,
It's part of the fun of shopping in India.
okay. I'm ready to put my bargaining skills to the test.
Good.
But before we get carried away with shopping, let's talk about something important: responsible shopping.
That's a great point.
Yeah, it's important to be mindful of the impact our shopping habits have, especially when traveling.
It is, absolutely.
The guide emphasizes the importance of supporting local artisans and businesses,
Yeah.
buying authentic handcrafted items, and avoiding mass-produced souvenirs.
That's right.
Exactly. And when we make conscious choices about what we buy,
Right.
we're not only supporting the local economy, but also helping to preserve traditional crafts and cultural heritage.
That's a great way to look at it.
It's about making our purchases meaningful and ensuring that our travels have a positive impact on the communities we visit.
Well said. And speaking of impact, have you given any more thought to the question of how a city like Jodhpur, so deeply rooted in tradition, navigates the challenges of modernity?
It's a question that keeps coming back to me.
Yeah.
It's like a puzzle trying to figure out how a city can embrace progress while preserving its unique identity.
It's complex. There's
Yeah.
no easy answer.
Right.
But Jodhpur seems to be finding its own path, balancing tradition and modernity in a way that feels authentic and sustainable.
The guide mentions a few examples of this delicate balance,
Yeah.
like the restoration of heritage buildings, the promotion of sustainable tourism initiatives, and the efforts to preserve traditional crafts.
Those are all positive signs.
Yeah.
And it seems that Jodhpur is doing so while also embracing modern amenities and infrastructure,
Right?
ensuring that the city remains vibrant and attractive.
Yeah. To both tourists and locals.
It's a city that seems to understand the importance of honoring its past while also looking towards the future.
Absolutely. And it's this unique blend of old and new that makes Jodhpur such a captivating and inspiring place.
Speaking of captivating and inspiring, I'm curious about Jodhpur's architectural landscape.
Okay.
The guide mentions this mix of Rajput and Mughal influences,
Yeah.
but what exactly does that look like?
Well, Jodhpur's architecture is this fascinating blend of styles, reflecting the city's rich history and cultural influences.
Okay.
The Rajput style, which originated in Rajasthan, is characterized by its grandeur,
Hmm.
intricate carvings, and use of local materials like sandstone and marble.
Right. The guide highlights Mehrangarh Fort and Jaswant as prime examples of Rajput architectural prowess.
Exactly. Mehrangarh Fort, with its towering walls, imposing gateways, and ornate palaces,
Hmm.
is a testament to the power and artistry of the Rajput rulers. And Jaswant, with its delicate carvings, intricate latticework, and serene white marble, is a masterpiece of Rajput architectural finesse.
It is.
Then you have the Mughal influence,
Right.
which came to Jodhpur during the Mughal Empire's reign in India.
That's right.
Mughal architecture is known for its symmetrical designs,
Yeah.
graceful arches, and use of materials like red sandstone and marble.
Beautiful materials.
The guide mentions Umaid Pawan Palace as an example of the Mughal influence on Jodhpur's architecture.
It is. That's right.
So we have the grandeur of Rajput forts, the elegance of Mughal palaces, and the intricate details of traditional Havelis.
It's all there.
Jodhpur sounds like an architectural feast for the eyes.
It is. And what's fascinating is how these different architectural styles have blended over the centuries,
Yeah.
creating a unique and harmonious landscape that is distinctly Jodhpur.
It's a city where history is etched in stone, where every building tells a story,
That's right.
and where architectural marvels await discovery around every corner.
Absolutely. And speaking of discovery, what about those hidden gems the guide mentions?
Right. The guide recommends exploring some lesser-known spots in Jodhpur,
Yeah.
places that offer a glimpse into the city's soul beyond the main tourist attractions.
Like what, for instance?
Well, there's Turji Ke Halra,
Okay.
a beautifully restored stepwell that dates back to the 18th century.
Ah, yes. Torji Kakalra is a hidden gem.
Yeah.
This peaceful oasis in the heart of the bustling city.
Hmm.
Its intricate carvings and cool, refreshing waters offer respite from the desert heat.
The guide also recommends a visit to the Rao Joda Desert Rock Park, a sprawling park that showcases the region's diverse flora and fauna.
It's a great place to escape the city crowds
Yeah.
and immerse yourself in the natural beauty of the Thar Desert.
And for a truly unique experience, the guide suggests checking out the Bishnoi villages,
Oh, yes.
located on the outskirts of Jodhpur.
The Bishnoi are a fascinating community.
Yeah.
Known for their deep reverence for nature and their commitment to environmental conservation.
Yeah, the guide mentions that a visit to a Bishnoi village is a chance to learn about their unique way of life, their traditions, and their efforts to protect the environment.
It's a truly inspiring experience
Yeah.
and a reminder that sustainable living is not just a modern concept,
Right.
but a way of life that has been practiced for centuries.
So we've got ancient stepwells, desert parks, and traditional villages.
We do.
Jodhpur seems to be full of hidden gems waiting to be discovered.
It is, and it's these lesser-known spots that often reveal the true character of a place,
Right.
offering a glimpse into its soul beyond the tourist facade.
It's about venturing beyond the familiar, embracing the unexpected,
Yeah,
and discovering the hidden treasures that make Jodhpur so special.
absolutely. And speaking of special, what about Jodhpur's night scene?
Oh, yeah.
The guide mentions something about a vibrant nightlife.
Right. The guide suggests that Jodhpur, despite its historical charm, is also a city that comes alive at night.
Interesting. What kind of nightlife are we talking about?
Well, it's not about clubs and discos.
Oh?
It's more about rooftop restaurants with stunning views, live music venues showcasing Rajasthani folk music, and cultural performances that offer a glimpse into the city's artistic heritage.
It sounds like a nightlife that's both sophisticated and culturally immersive.
Exactly. Imagine dining under the stars with panoramic views of the illuminated Mehrangarh Fort,
Lovely.
listening to the soulful melodies of Rajasthani folk musicians,
Beautiful.
or witnessing a traditional dance performance that tells the stories of the region.
That sounds magical.
It is, and it's a reminder that Jodhpur is a city that embraces both its ancient heritage and its modern spirit,
It does.
offering experiences that cater to all tastes and preferences.
So whether you're seeking history, culture, adventure, relaxation, or simply a chance to immerse yourself in the beauty of Rajasthan, Jodhpur has something to offer.
It's a city that seems to have it all.
It does.
Majestic forts, tranquil gardens, bustling markets, vibrant festivals, delectable cuisine, and that unique blend of tradition and modernity.
It does.
And it's a city that invites you to explore, to discover, and to create your own unforgettable Jodhpur story.
And speaking of dreams, have you considered what you might bring back from Jodhpur.
Oh, yeah.
The city is a treasure trove of souvenirs.
It is.
But what would be the most meaningful memento of your journey?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
It's not just about buying souvenirs.
Right.
It's about finding something that encapsulates the essence of Jodhpur, something that will remind me of the experiences and emotions I felt during my time there.
Perhaps a piece of blue pottery, handcrafted by a local artisan, a reminder of Jodhpur's unique artistic heritage.
Or a hand-woven textile, its vibrant colors and intricate patterns reflecting the richness of Rajasthani culture.
Or maybe even a simple photograph, capturing a moment that speaks to your heart. A visual reminder of the beauty and wonder you encountered in Jodhpur.
It's about finding a souvenir that tells a story that will transport me back to Jodhpur long after I've returned home.
It's about bringing back a piece of Jodhpur's magic, a reminder of the journey that transformed you, and the memories that will last a lifetime.
Speaking of transformations, I'm curious about how Jodhpur itself has been transformed by tourism.
Yeah, that's an interesting question.
The guide mentions that tourism has had a significant impact on the city, both positive and negative.
That's true. Tourism has brought economic benefits to Jodhpur, creating jobs and boosting the local economy,
Right.
but it's also brought challenges, such as increased traffic, pollution, and pressure on infrastructure.
Yeah, the guide emphasizes the importance of sustainable tourism,
Right.
of finding ways to manage the impact of tourism so that it benefits both visitors and the local community.
It's about finding a balance between economic development and environmental protection,
Yeah.
between welcoming visitors and preserving the authenticity of the destination.
It's about ensuring that tourism doesn't erode the very things that make Jodhpur so special. Its culture, its heritage, its way of life.
Exactly, and it's a challenge that Jodhpur, like many other tourist destinations, is actively grappling with.
The guide mentions a few initiatives aimed at promoting sustainable tourism in Jodhpur,
Okay.
such as the development of eco-friendly accommodations,
Yeah.
the promotion of responsible travel practices, and the support of local communities.
Those are all positive steps.
Yeah.
And it's encouraging to see that Jodhpur is taking a proactive approach to managing the impact of tourism.
It's about ensuring that Jodhpur remains a vibrant and thriving city for generations to come.
Right.
A city that continues to enchant and inspire visitors while preserving its unique character and charm.
And speaking of charm, what about Jodhpur's people?
Yeah.
The guide describes them as warm, welcoming, and hospitable.
Yes, the guide emphasizes the importance of interacting with the locals, of getting to know the people behind the place.
What kind of interactions do they suggest?
Well, it's about engaging in conversations, learning about their lives, their customs, their perspectives. It's about experiencing Jodhpur through their eyes, gaining a deeper understanding of the city's culture and way of life.
It sounds like a wonderful way to connect with the heart and soul of Jodhpur.
Exactly. And it's a reminder that travel is not just about seeing sights.
Right.
It's about connecting with people, about fostering cross-cultural understanding, about building bridges between different worlds.
And speaking of different worlds, what about the differences between Jodhpur and other cities in India?
The guide mentions that Jodhpur has a unique character that sets it apart from other Indian cities.
Okay.
It's a city that's both ancient and modern, traditional and cosmopolitan.
What makes Jodhpur so unique?
Well, it's a city that's steeped in history, with a rich cultural heritage that's evident in its architecture, its festivals, its cuisine, and its way of life.
Right.
But it's also a city that's embracing modernity, with a growing economy, a vibrant arts scene, and a cosmopolitan outlook.
It sounds like a city that's successfully navigating the challenges of the 21st century while preserving its unique identity.
Exactly, and it's this blend of old and new, of tradition and modernity that makes Jodhpur so fascinating.
It's a city that offers a glimpse into the past, a taste of the present, and a vision for the future.
It's a city that challenges our perceptions, expands our horizons, and leaves us with a sense of wonder and inspiration.
And speaking of inspiration, what about the stories Jodhpur tells? The guide mentions that Jodhpur is a city full of stories. Stories that are whispered in its streets, etched in its walls, and woven into its very fabric.
Yes, the guide encourages us to listen to these stories, to seek them out,
Right.
to let them guide us on our journey through Jodhpur.
What kind of stories are we talking about?
Stories of kings and queens,
Oh, wow.
of battles and conquests, of love and loss, of faith and devotion. Stories that reflect the human experience, the triumphs and tragedies, the joys and sorrows that have shaped Jodhpur over the centuries.
It sounds like a city that's alive with history, a city where the past is present,
Yeah.
and where every corner holds a story waiting to be told.
Exactly. And it's through these stories that we can truly connect with Jodhpur, that we can understand its soul, its spirit, its essence.
It's about going beyond the surface, beyond the tourist attractions, and delving into the heart of the city.
Yeah.
Where
We've covered so much in this deep dive. I mean, from the majestic forts, those hidden stepwells, to the bustling markets and, those iconic blue houses.
Yeah.
I think it's really clear that Jodhpur offers like an incredible blend of history, culture, and a visual splendor. Like, it's truly unique.
You know what's really struck me?
Yeah.
It's how Jodhpur balances its deep-rooted traditions with a sense of modernity.
Yeah.
It's a city that's evolving, but it's holding on to its heritage.
That is a great point. It's like Jodhpur is inviting us to explore not just its physical spaces, but its very essence, its spirit.
Exactly. And as you plan your trip, I want to leave you with this thought-provoking question.
Okay.
In a world that's obsessed with the new, how can a city like Jodhpur, so deeply rooted in its past, navigate the demands of modernity while preserving its unique cultural identity?
That is a powerful question.
Yeah.
It makes you think about the impact of globalization, tourism, and even our own expectations as travelers.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a question that really goes beyond Jodhpur itself.
Yeah.
It's a question that many cities around the world, particularly those with rich historical and cultural legacies, are grappling with.
Yeah. So as we journey to Jodhpur, let's be mindful of this delicate balance. Let's explore with respect and curiosity, seeking to understand not just the sights, but the soul of this incredible city.
Beautifully said. We hope this deep dive has not only sparked your wanderlust,
Oh, definitely.
but also equipped you with a deeper understanding of Jodhpur, its complexities, and its enduring charm.
And I'm already picturing myself,
Yeah.
like lost in those blue streets, just soaking in the atmosphere and savoring every moment.
Safe travels. And may your journey to Jodhpur be filled with wonder, discovery, and a newfound appreciation for the magic of this extraordinary city.
Thanks for joining us on this incredible deep dive into Jodhpur. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving